when those people get together in friendly conversation around a pre-written hard copy of words that are the foundation for the communion, for the time together, because our spirits are so fleeting, and our thoughts, our emotions, what captures our attention, that plus we're so sensitive to one another that in observing the way that we behave as humans socially with one another, how we interact, seems to me that the majority of the time that peaceful gatherings happen with multitudes, they have that written base, so to speak, to socialize around. And I'm just really grateful to comprehend that all of those are making way for coexisting on Earth, because our differences are something that we can't really control. We're made with differences. So I'm simply reflecting on that information. So with the NAMI group, I didn't yet get somebody's contact as I did with the reading from the Book of Spirits group, because I also like to attend that gathering tomorrow, or get the access to the writing that, as I explained at the beginning, is the adherence to the principles of the gathering is what brings the participants together, so that the talk is friendly during that time, sticking to those principles in the way that we comment, listen to one another with mutual respect. So I wonder about that writing, and yeah, inevitably, inclined to ponder about books, writings, in order to occupy my mind, to satisfy my necessity for social contact. It's very difficult living here. I can't put the camera down, stop saying something, because my living situation is extremely uncomfortable, extreme hardship from the weather at this moment. If I'm not standing directly in front of the fan or outside fanning myself with my hand, it's very uncomfortable. Or I was pacing for the heat. It's very difficult to do any housework because the temperature is extreme. So my place is messy. I can't hire someone to go in here clean for us. All of that because the only employment I know is document-based employment, and due to our differences that are the cost for the major holy writings, I don't have a birth certificate because I'm very different, because everybody wants to manage my private life. The celebrities have their private drama on some media. Mine is God ordained or whatever in the silence. That's what happened. So in order for me to gain control about my private life, to be my own manager with my own life, it's like how they had started the gathering earlier, returning to that. You can't. There's no way that one human being could possibly please everybody. Uh, so I really am looking for more comfortable housing from the weather, from the elements. Like Mother Earth provides a way to be comfortable, physically comfortable, by nourishing ourselves good combinations of what grows from the earth. Plus, there are natural sources of coolness when it's hot. Like, I just love to be in a different uh, state at the moment. If I can't learn a way of life that lets me be able to get air conditioning in California in this desert, so I should be living physically where the weather I could cope with, where I could be more productive. Like, obviously, that's how we all get stuck near the beach or near a river. If we're somewhat homeless, that's where we're going to gravitate or erect a structure around, a body of water, for cooling, for drinking. So I just like really miss being in the wilderness, where I might even dig into the earth and make myself a cool room underground. Um, like, is really that bad, the weather here, and how that limits me from cleaning my place, from um, focusing enough to read a different book. I haven't been able to read a book in a while. Yeah. So even though I'm really grateful for online gatherings, and I'm really happy to start to be making friends that way. I've been really um, just unable to connect in intellect with other human beings in a way that lets me have more things materially, not only due to my appearance, but due to the fact that I cannot intellectually, how to say, compete. They're always competing, playing games, and I can't even learn the games because I'm so intellectually handicapped. So, it really is a hindrance for me not to be um, across the border with my son. I think that is the solution. I felt like that has been the solution since the complaint first arose in 2012 about my adultery. It's like I did not choose the adultery. The adultery was forced on me. So that's why ever since it was 2011, I think late 2011, 2012, when the adultery happened, and seeing as how my private life is like the drama of the silence, not of any electronic media or printed paper or anything like that, but really in the spirit, as close as spirit world that humans can create for themselves on this planet. The psychiatric care through the telepathy, the unfriendly telepathy. So in some eyes, I became an offender, and that was brought up during the gathering where I'll stone her, or what we do with her. Well, I came, I earned great disapproval for being pushed into that scene, into that pornographic film scene where I was an adulterer, and I at the same time was a rape, and at the same time was like feeling destitute, not having a family, because my son's dad had negated being a family. Like a simple let's watch TV together on the bed, he denied. So I was completely heartbroken. How could I ever have another baby if we can't? And I wasn't thinking anything obviously anything perverted, but they're born with that inclination, and they knew that he could not explain to me, or he could not give in to how beautiful must be that moment to just with your family cuddling, snuggling, watching TV, um, without becoming aroused, or if it became aroused, so what, that's a family. He didn't allow that, and so I knew that I didn't have a good family prospect already, and I simply had to stay in a he made me legally bound to that wedding for 2 years, and then the year was imposed, and so my life became out of balance, homeless, with no documents, since my mother married that male that took away my birth certificate, my real identity. So is is the weather really that at this moment that is, um like, the last upload I was crying at some point, and today it's not a complaint. I'm grateful for my life, I'm grateful for what I have, but there please must be a way for some representative of all the races on earth, or a representative from each of the various types of human beings, to talk with me directly about how I can go on in this world, being able to attain things that others make, for like, for instance, you know, online websites that require I input digits to get the things. And then they say, well, to get the digits, my body at some point physically must be somewhere else, or physically either touch someone, or with word influence someone's brain. And that's when the payment happens. That's what they consider payment, is that neurotic moment of an actual touch someone, or an actual talk with someone, that makes work, that is payment. So that is how life sadly has become. And so the way to get that, they taught me, was documents. Like, oh, we'll invent an ID for you, we'll invent birth certificate, we'll invent ID card. But then they were they created the offense themselves, that they accused me of being the offender of. Like, they themselves pushed me psychiatrically into the sin that they are punishing me for. So it's like really extra cruel, and I cannot comprehend. Like, it's so sad that I feel like I'm non-mind reader that got captured and taken into this world to be forced into these talks that don't really sound happy. Like, I would rather have my voice be happy, singing, pretty, influencing goodness. And instead, I have this great desperation and sorrow and aching in the deepest parts of anybody's soul or spirit or flesh, both, all three parts. And so I don't really cannot comprehend my error beyond than words could possibly explain. Please, somebody explain a way that I can, again, go somewhere and start getting credit digits onto some account. I can click on the internet and order things, or, like, make trade with somebody for digits to get an air conditioning unit. I don't know, like, so many things. Like, first should be my full hysterectomy, so that I could stop feeling so fatigued all the time. So many things, goods and services that I'm very eager to start trading for. And so please, a way for me to trade must happen. I don't know who, somebody earlier was very angrily, maybe in the front yard, saying there's no mouth, like a very angry man. And I was asleep in my bed, or like I had just barely woken up, and I was feeling groggy. So it was like an evil spirit type of human being, and so it's like, what is that? Like, that is the home invasion, that is like trespassing, that is. However, if I could muster up the energy to bolt away from my bedroom into the front yard to try to, oust the intruder, the disrespecting male, I couldn't have the strength. But in the past I did have the strength, every single time, zero body visible. Only somebody friendly, maybe the old lady. And so the old lady shows up, exiting that house in front of, like whoever sounds so viciously cruel or mean and sounds near has always managed to utilize their higher intellect to create a situation of, we're just simply enforcing the punishment on this human being, and we're simply just grinding away and peeling away at her emotions, at her heart, at her nervous system. Multiple times I dropped dead and then recovered. The eagerness to live cannot be extinguished. Despite, against all odds, I'm still here trying to make some sort of trade agreement with some of the species of the planet so that I could make myself more comfortable in this world, because once I'm born, exited my mother's womb, learned to speak, in order for life to be worth living, there is a minimum standard of living of that in every individual must have within themselves, or else this constant grasping onto this way or that way, like there's got to be some way to live more contentedly with less um, it's like a bad energy. It's like a really bad energy, and it's just killing me, and I don't know how I could convince or persuade someone to please face me, to diminish the negativity, because the online folk are wonderful, and I'm seeing, they're the nicest people on the planet right now, because they actually get together to talk about how we might, how they cope with the stress, and that helps me, because I can't just serve the internet of friends' minds. And so listening to them is like, oh, I get to learn how somebody else is feeling. Like, wouldn't it be great if I too could be like the host today and say, well, I've been a part of that gathering, online gathering, if I have live for 2 years now, 3 years, 5 years, and what if I could, what if all of them also could just simply keep attending online for a long, long time? Like, that would make a positive difference in my life. Keep attending the NAMI gathering for like indefinite amount of time, no matter where I could be on earth. Even if I should relocate to Mexico, I could still attend the NAMI gathering online, because it's online. You can be friends everywhere. You can gather anywhere. So, like, now I'm getting excited about the internet again, and I am the creature, that is most grateful that the internet nicest the most to. Like, even replace the word that explains something with that is MEAN, replace that with NICE, because that really is the niceness in living at this moment for me. The availability of the internet, the Starlink satellites that could connect anybody, via computers anywhere in the world. Like, I'm the one who would want that, and I'm the one who wants to be traveling the world, yet I'm the one most corralled. I'm the species, the type that has been most corralled most of their life, to the point where we are now, mostly gone extinct. I don't know who else might face me here in my community, or approach the property with friendly words, with nice things. I don't know what happened. Like I said, the offense to morality was not my was not in my heart. So I don't know why a male should be so disrespecting to me. If a male likes me, he should say, oh, here's a present, here's some chocolates and some flowers, and be nice to me. You know, like I really don't comprehend that approach from out there, or a wedding proposal, a live somewhere else proposal. Like, I don't know how to diminish that level of disrespect. You know, I've given speeches on gratitude for reduction in the foul language, but when that foul language is around, you know, the gathering today taught me to say, well, in the name of Jesus, depart, you know, or get away from us in the name of Jesus. And like, so that's how, like, I started filming myself to say thank you for the online gatherings, and then I had to make a separate video with this lengthy speech, because I was frustrated that my place is not very friendly looking, not even to myself, and I can't yet become friends with myself enough, nor with the world, to make my place my immediate surroundings a nicer place for me to greet others. When at times I manage to get the place kind of neat looking, we still don't get the control to invite somebody friendly, nice in. We only get to dismiss very unfriendly approaches that approach with foul language. So that sadness is an unmerited punishment. Please comprehend that I do not I do not merit such great hate nor unfriendly approach. Please, somebody talk with me in this community, not online, about these things. Maybe when I go to the community center, or if there's if there's legal help somewhere. That's why I'm squinting, because I'm in front of the fan. Anyway, I'm gonna hang up now. See you around. See you on the internet.